This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
Hello again, and welcome to the Savvy Investor Podcast with the team at ProStatus Financial. Mike Canet is here. Lawrence Kiely is here. My name is Randy Cook, and each week we sit down here and talk through some of the issues that are probably bugging you when it comes to your retirement. And Mike, I'm looking at this, and I can't figure this part out because we've had 3 really good years in the stock market. We've had double-digit returns. Usually the articles that I'm reading are, look at all the 401k millionaires, and look how happy everybody is. But that's not what this survey says. In 2020, if you were to ask people how they felt about retirement, 83% of them said they felt good about their retirement. Today, that number is down to 70%. So we're going the wrong way. So
Absolutely.
what do you, after 3 great years, why do you think confidence is down about retirement?
I think a lot of it has to do with the political noise going out there, right? I mean, unfortunately, people aren't focusing on the important things. They're getting caught up in the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikToks and, quite frankly, all the talking pundits on television. And, those guys are designed to basically scare the bejesus out of you. And I don't care if you lean left or lean right. They're both horrible people about it, right? I mean, when the Republicans are in control, they spend like drunken sailors and the Democrats piss and moan about it. And when the Democrats are in control, they spend like drunken sailors and the Republicans piss and moan about it. Either way, both of them are bad stewards with our money. And, it's just constantly berating about how horrible everything is because of the other person. And, that's why for us, it's more about, having a really well-designed financial plan. And it's interesting, just kind of reflecting on myself as I'm getting closer and closer to retirement myself. I always thought retirement for me was playing golf. I love to, my wife says I can't call it camping, so glamping. And I ride motorcycles and I love to cook. So that kind of is what I thought retirement would be like. But evidently, we're living next to the daughter-in-law she likes best and hanging out with the grandchildren. I mean, that wasn't on my radar at all. I'm thinking, grandchildren, they can come and visit. But the best part about having grandchildren, from my perspective, is that you can wire them up on chocolate, show them a scary movie, let them stay up all night, and then send them home the next day. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? I mean, you get to unconditional love. You get to let them do everything that your children were mad at you about for not letting them do, right? So now we can let them do all that stuff, hand them right back to mom and dad, and just kind of smile in the corner. But evidently, that's not quite what my retirement. But that's my point, right? Retirement really is, what you make of it. It really starts with just having kind of that conversation.
Right. I mean, and that conversation, for a lot of people, it's a scary conversation. I mean, we had a client, Terry and Valerie, that come in, and he was very savvy. He had managed. He didn't all.
Oh, wait! I saw how you did that. Savvy investor, very savvy. Oh, cha-ching, ting. He's here all week, folks. Go ahead.
So he had managed his own investments for a really, really long time, probably over 30 years, and he had done really, really well in the market. They had a couple $1 million saved, and we were talking about what retirement looks like for them, and really it was the question was they needed some tax planning, but his biggest thing was kind of, asset allocation and investment returns. And we started to just have a real conversation about, retirement isn't all about, allocation and returns. There's more to it. What do you want to do? And their goal was really, they wanted to buy an RV, retire, and just spend time doing that. And his real reason for contacting us was he was just tired of looking at everything. He wanted someone in his corner, in his back pocket, that was handling his investments, giving him sound tax advice, and just making sure his income wasn't going to run out in retirement so he could just spend time with his wife and enjoy it. And that's really what retirement ends up being about, is how do you want to spend your time? Do you want to keep watching it, listening to the talking heads and having stress about what's my portfolio doing today? Or do you want someone that's setting up income buckets for you, making sure your money's not running out, making sure you're being tax efficient so you're not giving 20 to 30% to Uncle Sam, and then, making sure that you're really just living the life you want to live in retirement and being able to enjoy it.
And, for part of the conversation that we always have is, the way at least I look at it is, Lawrence, my job, our collective job, it's kind of like crossing the street, right? Sometimes I have to hold their hands to get them to cross the street. But sometimes I have to hold their hands to keep them from running across the street, right? And that's what a good advisor does. It's not just about the X's and O's. It's not just about, I need $10,000 a year. How am I going to create it? And I have money left over. How are you going to allocate it? Quite honestly, you don't need an advisor to do that for the most part, right? There's plenty of robo-advisory firms out there where you could just go say, here's how much money I want, here's the risk I want. I mean, you can go to Vanguard, for God's sake, and they could do an asset allocation for you for dirt cheap. The benefit of having a financial planning firm, and especially from my perspective, having independent advisors, right? There's lots of firms out there that the advisors work for the company. And they have a manager who tells them what to do, and the manager is told what to do by the executive vice president, and the executive vice president is told what to do by the regional vice president. The regional vice president is told what to do by the national director, and the national director is told what to do by the board of directors, and the board of directors do what's best for the shareholders, not necessarily you as the end user of the product, as the client. And one of the reasons why Lawrence, myself, Ryan, our team, we've remained independent advisors because we want to work for you. We don't want to work for big brother, big sister. We don't want them telling us what we can and can't do. And the fact is that I think it's so important to have a relationship where somebody can sit down with you and walk you. We just had a client. Kim is one of our clients, and her boyfriend was one of our clients, Dave. And Kim's father was one of our clients. And, Kim's dad died. Kim became our client. Kim brought her boyfriend in. Well, her boyfriend just died recently. And, she picked up the phone and called us. And she didn't have to have one of those conversations with us that, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you about that stuff, right? I can't talk to you about what are tax implications because she's the beneficiary. Some money's being left in trust for his granddaughter. And we could actually have that conversation. We could talk to her about what does the estate process look like? How do we go about doing it? How do we open up the estate? How do we file for things? How do we do the death benefits? What are the tax implications of how we're going to take the money out? I mean, because she wasn't married to him, in Maryland, there's a 10% inheritance tax. So we're talking to her about how do we get around the 10% inheritance tax because money's being left in trust for a granddaughter. So, the fact is that if you're working with a true financial planning firm, and I'm doing air quotes here, a truly holistic financial planning firm, and that word is so overused, just like it is now when people say we do tax planning. Roth conversions, that's not tax planning. That's a dime a dozen. Everybody does that. Holistic planning is not because I'm a fiduciary. Holistic planning is because I talk to you about what happens when your boyfriend dies. We had another client just picked up the phone recent to us, and her son is going through a nasty divorce. And she has another advisor. She has some of her money with us, and she has some of her money with another advisor. And she needs $100,000 to kind of bail him out, basically to buy the ex-wife out of the value of the house. And that other advisor is like, well, take $50,000 from me and take $50,000 from Mike. And I'm like, are you insane? You know what the tax implications are in there and the loss of time value of money? Because her position is 2 or 3 years from now as he gets back on his feet. And when the interest rates are lower, he'll be able to refinance and pay her back. And I said, well, you're better off doing a HELOC now and giving him the money for the mortgage payment, do a 5-year interest only, do the mortgage payment that way. It's going to cost you a heck of a lot less in interest than it is in taxes, and you never get your tax money back. At least with the interest, we can use it a little bit for a tax write-off. And it's those type of conversations that as you're going through retirement, you need somebody who can do more than just tell you, here's an annuity or here's a stock allocation or, here's some dividend stocks that we can buy and then call it a day. That's not retirement. That's not financial planning. I mean, you don't want to go to your doctor and have say, hey, doc, I have these issues going on. And he looks at you and says, oh, hey, take this blue pill. I give all my clients this blue pill and call it a day. The blue pill is good for certain things, but it's not good for everything. So let's make sure we're taking the right medicines from our doctors. We're getting the right advice from our doctors. And that's what you get when you come into our practice. It's so important to work with a planner who truly is, yes, fiduciary is important, but truly can address all the aspects of your retirement. And basically, if there's a dollar sign involved with it, you should never hear from your advisor, sorry, that's not my job, but let me refer you to somebody else. And even if somebody else is the right answer, that advisor should damn well know at least the working knowledge of whatever the question is to put you in the right direction, to give you enough information so you can make an informed decision, even if we have to bring an expert in. Because the fact is, we do all sorts of advanced trust planning, we're working with a guy right now, has about a $40 million capital gain on the sale of a business. We're putting it into a very specific type of trust. The trust is then going to sell it in a very certain type of insurance wrapper, and we're not going to pay any tax on it. We're going to pay zero taxes on a $40 million gain. $40 million gain. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that advanced tax work. I admit it. I'm not doing that advanced trust work. I don't do it enough, that stuff. But you know what I know enough? To have the conversation to say, this is what we should do in your situation. Let's bring in these guys that's all they do. That's what true holistic planning is about. It's more than just how to invest my money into the stock market. It's more than just how to create an income stream. It's truly a relationship where you are on the same page emotionally, mentally with your advisory team, and they are walking you through hand in hand through retirement. That is true planning.
The stock market tends to rule our attitudes when it comes to our financial planning. When the stock market is up, we're feeling good. Right now, the stock market is up, but people aren't feeling so good about retirement, and maybe it's because of the issues that Mike just brought up. Taxes and politics and inflation and recession and legacy and wills and trusts. There's a lot that goes into retirement planning. Let's sit down and look at all of it. Take a look at the website, thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Everything you need to know about ProStatus Financial is right there. There's also some buttons you can click to get in touch with the team and sit down and talk about your retirement. Thanks so much for listening to the Savvy Investor Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.